Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here. Today I'm going to be using a few items from This Calls for Confetti. I'm going to be using the Retro Stripes add-on, which comes with a thin stripe stencil, masks, and coordinating dies. For the sentiment, I'll be using the word hello from the Hello Elongated Frame set. I'm also going to be bringing in some leaves and berries using the Autumn Artisanal die set. As I create today's project, I'll bring in a few additional supplies. As always, I encourage you to use what you have in your collection, but if you would like a list of the items I'm using, one has been provided for you in the description below, along with my affiliate link to the This Calls for Confetti shop. Let's go ahead and get started with the project. We're going to start by creating our striped background. I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of mixed media cardstock, and I'm using the striped stencil from the Retro Stripes add-on. Once I have a nice solid blue base, I'm going to leave the stencil in place and apply a layer of matte transparent texture paste. This is going to dry clear and act as a resist when we add more ink over the top. Now that the paste has dried, I'm going to bring in some more layers of ink. I'm adding speckled egg in the center. I'm going to bring in some salvaged patina around the edges to deepen the color. As you can see, the stripes are starting to fade a bit. Distress oxide inks have an opaque finish, and they often blend over the colors that you've already added. Once I'm done adding these two blue colors, I'm going to gently wipe away the excess ink from the top of the paste, and you'll be able to see those crisp, clean stripes underneath. So here at the bottom, I did get a little bit of paste that leaked under the stencil. I'm not going to worry about it because this is the area where my flowers are going to sit. It is a bit of a happy accident though, because it really helps you see how that paste resist method works. So that was a very simple way to use your inks and stencils to create a shaker card background. Now we're going to use our inks to add some soft, gorgeous color to our die cuts using a watercolor technique. I've die cut berries and leaves from a watercolor mixed media paper. On my silicone mat, I'm pressing down spun sugar and picked raspberry distress oxide ink pads. I'm going to be using a wet on wet technique. I'm going to dampen the die cut slightly and add a little bit of water to my pools of ink. With a water brush, I'm going to paint the berries. This gives a dreamy, blended look that mimics soft watercolor. As the berries dry, I'm going to add color to the leaves. I apologize that I forgot to move the camera, so it's going to be a little hard to see. I'm using tumbled glass, salvaged patina, and squeezed lemonade. I'm going to start by adding yellow down the vein of the leaves and blend in the blues to create a natural spring green. Now remember, I said that I'm using a watercolor or mixed media paper. It's best to use a paper that's designed for wet medium. That helps you avoid piling and it prevents those die cuts from losing their etched details. I'm going to finish the leaves off camera, let everything dry, and then I'll show you how to assemble the shaker card. Here's everything that you're going to need to build our card. We have those berries and leaves that were created using the watercolor techniques. I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch striped background, a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch front panel frame with an arch cutout, a piece of acetate to layer behind this, my sentiment. I cut 2 hellos from the negative arch piece. And I also have a few items from This Calls for Confetti to add inside the shaker. To start, I'm going to adhere the acetate to the back of the window using double-sided tape. It's less messy and holds better than liquid glue. The acetate that I use has a protective cover. I did remove that before adhering it over the window panel. I'm going to add some 3mm foam strips around the arch to build the shaker barrier. When you're creating shaker cards, make sure that your foam tape is thick enough to allow movement with the shaker pieces. The flowers and pearls in this collection are rather thick. Chunkier embellishments like clay flowers or pearls may require you to use more foam tape. I am going to skip the pearls this time, but I will need to add an extra layer of 1mm foam to allow those flowers to move within the shaker. Before I remove the backing from the foam tape, I'm going to use anti-static powder on the acetate and foam edges. This prevents the shaker bits from sticking where they shouldn't. This anti-static powder is from This Calls for Confetti. It's in a great little tube that's easy to store and travel with if you like to make shaker cards on the go. Now I'm going to peel the backing from that foam tape. I'm going to add just a little bit of liquid adhesive over the top. This is going to make it easier to adjust if I don't get this lined up right away. I'm going to sprinkle the Hearts in Bloom shaker mix in the center of my striped background. This is full of florals, leaves, hearts, and diamonds. I'm also going to add a touch of bokeh dazzle dots for shimmer. These are so pretty, and I love that they have a little bit of a translucent feel. There are a couple of varieties of these in the This Calls for Confetti shop. Now that these are in place, I'm going to flatten them down a bit, and then I'll bring our frame right over the top. Now it's time to decorate our card. I'm clustering the leaves and berries in the lower left corner. One of the things I love most about this card is its versatility. The simple arch window paired with layered leaves, berries, and a bold sentiment gives you a timeless base design that works for any season or occasion. So within the leaves, I'm adding some loops of dark teal twine for texture. And then I'm going to glue the 2 hello die cuts together. This is going to create a little bit of dimension. I'm going to place this right over the shaker window to create a nice bold sentiment. Here is our finished card. I'm loving how the soft pinks, greens, and shimmer pieces pop against that dreamy blue background. I want to thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful. share it with a crafty friend, and subscribe so that you don't miss more creative tutorials. If you have any questions about the project or supplies I used, feel free to post those in the comments below. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.